Shavua Tov, a Gute Woch. I want to tell story number 86 of the Shivchei Shem Tov, the oldest anthology, compilation of Baal Shem Tov stories. And the title of this story is Maase B'Machasheifa, a story, a tale of a witch or sorceress. The author of the book, Dover of Linitz, begins quoting the source for his story. I heard this story from my father-in-law and from the Rav of our Kehillah, our community, meaning Rav Alexander Shochet, who worked as a soifer for the Baal Shem Tov for a few years, and this early chassid of the Baal Shem Tov, Rav Gedalia of Linitz, who later becomes the Rav of that community, Linitz. So these are the two sources from which the story was heard. And the story goes back to the days before the Baal Shem Tov was a revealed tzaddik. Kind of falls out of place in the chronological order here in the book. So when the Baal Shem Tov was still in the Shenk. Shenk is a tavern, a place where they serve alcohol, liquor, and that's where the Baal Shem Tov's brother-in-law put him to work in order to have some parnasa, some income. So when he was working in that place, in the town where he was, they needed rain. So the Baal Shem Tov prayed for rain. And in that town there was a sorceress, there was a witch, and she possessed a Shin Dalet. I don't want to say the Hebrew word. Shin Dalet, a little demon. And she made sign of her magic in order to prevent it from raining. So the Baal Shem Tov, through his tefillah, through his prayer, he ruined the sorcery, the magic that this woman had done. So the little Shin Dalet, the little demon, pointed him out to the witch and said, him, Rabbi Israel, he is the one who ruined your sorcery. And so the woman went to the Baal Shem Tov's mother. Probably by Baal Shem Tov's mother they mean the woman who adopted him when he was 5, when his father and mother passed away. So she was still around in those days. And so the woman goes to this woman, the witch goes to this woman and tells her, if your son does not leave me alone, stops mingling in my business, I am going to cast a spell on him. So the mother, adoptive mother, but the mother, nevertheless, tells the Baal Shem Tov, thinking that maybe the Baal Shem Tov has some kind of a fight with this woman over selling alcohol or some debt, right? So she says, my son, leave this Goya, leave this non-Jewish woman alone, because she's a witch. And the Baal Shem Tov answered, I am not afraid at all. That doesn't touch me at all. Remember what the Baal Shem Tov's father said to him when he was a little child, before passing away, don't fear anything, anybody, only Hashem, only God. So the Baal Shem Tov doesn't have any issue with this woman's threat. So he did his own, he prayed, and it rained. The witch, the sorceress, comes a second time to the Baal Shem Tov's mother, and this time she releases her little Shin Dalet, her little demon, to go and harm the Baal Shem Tov. She means what she says, but the demon is not able to come within the Dalet Amos of the Baal Shem Tov. Dalet Amos, 4 cubits, mean in any nearby distance. He can't approach him enough to cause him harm. And the Baal Shem Tov says to the Shin Dalet, you dare come to me? Now immediately go to that woman and cause her the damage you were supposed to cause me, right? Go here and cause her damage. The demon looked at the woman through a little shop, they call it, a little glass window, I guess, from her house, and did the damage to her. Then the Baal Shem Tov captured this little Shin Dalet and put him in a dungeon in the middle of the forest, from where he would never be able to come out again. This is one of the things that the Baal Shem Tov did with all the mazikim, all these supernatural, ghostly or the devil sources, beings. He would always cast them away, put them in some place where they would never harm people again. And so the Baal Shem Tov years later becomes a Rabbi Tzaddik, and he's traveling through the forest with other people, and he makes a stop. It's off the cart. He goes to the place where the dungeon is, and he sees that the Shin Dalet, the demon, is still inside that dungeon, still captured. And the Baal Shem Tov laughed out loud. He came laughing, and they asked him what happened, and he told them the story. That is the story of this week. Okay, I am translating all the stories of the Baal Shem Tov from this book into Spanish and telling them in English and in Spanish here in this channel every week. I appreciate contributions to keep the channel running, to keep my time into this, as well as, B'ezras Hashem, a future edition and publication of the book that has never in its entirety been translated to Spanish. I will put link in the description. Apologize for the noises. Shavua Tov, a gute Woche.